drilled deep left field. Gone!
Wild night at the ballpark last night at Guaranteed Rate Field. The Sox have split the first two, and the White Sox are still 11 up in the AL Central. The magic number down to 11 after Cleveland got no hit last night, and the Red Sox are part of this. Heavy traffic in the AL wildcard race. One game up on the Yankees, and the Blue Jays are suddenly very much contenders. The AL West a couple of games behind as well. Red Sox and White Sox, and what a fun series it has been. Close games both nights, and each team has won one. Lance Lynn returns from the injured list. Nick Pivetta returns from the COVID list. It's the Sox, and this should be a great one once again. This time the sun is out, and we are ready for baseball. Happy Halloween, by the way. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. The Sox are just about fully constituted with guys who have come back from long-term injuries. Obviously, TA will come back at some point, and the other guys too. The guys who've returned have been great.
This has been just a great series, and our pitching staff is starting to get healthy, which is a good thing heading into what we hope is the postseason. We pretty much assume that that's the way it's going to be. So Lance Lynn today, and Lance Lynn has been very good when he's been healthy. Had a knee issue. The big story is the return of Lance Lynn. You look at those numbers, they're outstanding with an ERA of 2.59. Hits as far as innings pitched, great. Strikeouts to walks, also unbelievable. He usually goes deep into the game. Don't look for too much more than 5 today. They just want to make sure he's entirely healthy. If he is, well, he can field. He can do a lot of things, and hopefully he can take this one at least into the 6th. Luis Roberts, since coming back, has been all everything. Hitting in 26 games, a 368 clip. Scored 21 runs, hit 6 home runs. That's going to go up. Driven in 18 with a slugging percentage over 600. 13 multi-hit games. He's catching everything in center field, doing just a great job. In the absence of Tim Anderson, he's been leading off. It doesn't really matter. That turned out to be the game-winning run batted in, and so the Sox in a finale of what's been a dandy of a series.
We have some great plays to show you.
Plays of the week.
How could you not get excited about those? They're next.
White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Ford, your local Ford dealers remind you to get out there and find your wild in America's original sports utility vehicle, Ford Bronco. The one and only legend has returned. Xfinity Mobile. Get nationwide 5G on the fastest, most reliable network. Only with Xfinity Mobile. And by Wintrust, home of White Sox checking. Visit wintrust.com/Sox to open today.
They're brought to you by your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers, and they are
the plays of the week.
Brian Goodwin splinters everywhere and a lead of 5. Robert makes it look so simple out there on a ball that could have flown over his head.
And a drive out of the deep left. Gone! Seven strikeouts for Rodon.
Rontal blasts off. He has whisked away his former team with strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. Coming up, first pitch, the Red Sox and the White Sox. It has felt very much like what you see on the screen the first two games. It's dayside this time, and a huge one in the scheme of October. Coming next with Lance Lynn. His first start in the month of September. He's been on the injured list with knee inflammation. Lance Lynn leads the Sox out to the mound, and we are just about ready for baseball from Guaranteed Rate Field. And if they're like the first two in this series, you're going to want to be around for all 9 innings, as Alex Cora's Red Sox took the Sox to the brink in Game 1. And the other way to the brink in Game number 2. The Insure on the Spot starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote and save in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. Slugging percentage against fastballs, very important with Lance Lynn on the mound. Look out for Kyle Schwarber at 6:30 against the heater. And you see the stacking of the lineup. 7, 8, 9, a little bit lesser against the fastball than the rest.
Lance Lynn back from a sore knee, and this year 24 previous starts. Looking for his 11th win. His ERA a touch above 2.5. A lot of strikeouts, very few walks, and he's been really good this year. So I'm sure the Sox would love to get 5. That's what he's going to use. It's almost entirely fastballs, although he uses a lot of variations of them. 5% changeups, only 2.2% curveballs, so it's 92-point-something% fastballs. Our UI Health defense, and this is how Tony La Russa puts them out there this afternoon, with Eloy, Luis, and Gavin in the outfield left to right. Yohan, Leury, Cesar, and Yasmani Grandal at first base, with Sebi Zavala behind the plate. We told you about Lance Lynn. He's ready to go. And a couple of big boys missing from the Boston lineup, Bogarts and Martinez. That's not a bad thing.
No, we haven't seen J.D. Martinez the entire series, as the first inning is brought to you by Toyota. And the first pitch is ball number 1. It is a steamy one on a Sunday afternoon for Major League Baseball. Lynn for the win, maybe. 84 degrees. Humidity over half, 56%. I'd say the ballpark's buzzing this whole series.
You could say that. There are some things buzzing around in the booth also. Very warm day. Some of our insect friends certainly love humidity.
They do. They do, and they love your shirt too. They think it's a honeycomb.
We are dressed together like the Great Pumpkin.
We're at least a very good pumpkin. I would take the under on the Great Pumpkin. Ortiz has the plate, Fairchild at first, Hammery at second, Bellino at third. Your umpiring crew.
The wind, which is blowing the same way all series, is blowing toward left and left center field. Get one up in the air toward left and it will go.
Check swing, he went. Strike 3, 1 gone. I don't need no appeal on that one.
Really good way to start it off on a sweeping breaking ball. We'll call it a cutter for lack of a better term, and Kike could not check it up. You want to face Schwarber today as many times as possible with nobody on base. And just as he's been greeted the entire series because of his emergence as a Cub player in this city on the other side of town, he is roundly booed. However, he's done a big job this year, 29 and 61 on the power numbers.
Great acquisition by the Red Sox from Washington. And there's strike 1 to Schwarber, who is hitless so far in this series.
I think Lance is probably going to try to cut one in on his hands if that becomes the pitch of decision in this at bat.
Two strikes on Schwarber. Hunter Renfroe batting third today. It was Bogarts in the 3 spot yesterday after Renfroe was there in Game 1. Boston and the Yankees and the Blue Jays all bottled up in the wild card race, and Toronto has already taken a 14-3 lead on the Orioles in the 3rd.
But that's deceiving because they they've been hitting in tough luck. I watched Vlad Jr. today hit one 8 miles. He's now tied with Ohtani for the lead in the major leagues, 44 home runs.
Just an outrageous season for Vladdy Jr. as that is downstairs 2-2.
You realize he truly has a legitimate shot at the Triple Crown.
He does.
Which might be the only way that Ohtani doesn't get the MVP. Especially if Toronto does make the postseason, and right now it looks like they don't intend to lose very much the rest of the way.
He did get in on Schwarber, and there with Garcia is out number 2. Our player profile presented by Geico. Make it easy. It's Lance Lynn in the American League, second in earned run average, third in opponent's batting average, and definitely a Cy Young candidate, even with a couple of IL stints.
Look, he's had a great year. He's endeared himself to the fans, and one of the reasons he's done that is he signed a 2-year extension, but it's what he said, not what he got. He said he signed it because he feels the south side of Chicago is where he wanted to be. He wants to be with the White Sox. He likes the ball club. He likes his teammates, and he's going to be here for a while.
Building on that, he had said basically he's never felt more at home than in this uniform and with these people.
Well, he certainly has turned out this year to be a mainstay in the rotation.
Lifted left-hand side. Garcia's back on it. Instead, Jimenez makes the call, and Lance Lynn, welcome back. 1-2-3 first inning. No score. Tony La Russa in that jersey that he has some familiarity with from back in the day in his American League tour of duty. As it's time for the Insure on the Spot starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote and save in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. Luis Robert is slugging against everything. The fastball is no exception at 6'10". Grandal in the 5 spot, 627 against the fastball, as they will all face Nick Pivetta off the COVID IL.
On for his 27th start, he's 9-7, ERA above 4.5. You see a lot of strikeouts, not that many walks. And right-handers, left-handers hitting about the same. So there's 2 keys with Pivetta. Number 1, hit the first pitch. Tops out at 95. He throws a slider 23% of the time, the curveball 23% of the time, so they're interchangeable. Try to hit the first pitch and try to get him before he gets you to 2 strikes. And we'll tell you that the numbers bear that out in a bit.
I believe you anyway, but I would love to hear the numbers. He goes after the first pitch, strike 1.
So here are the numbers. Opponents hitting .391 against Pivetta in non-2 strike counts since the start of last year. That's second worst in the major leagues. And we promise you another number.
Please.
Slugging percentage of .891 on the first pitch of at-bats since the start of last season. That's third worst in the major leagues. So get him early.
On 1-1, Robert lofts this to right field, and Hunter Renfroe for on number 1.
Our UI Health defense, Alex Cora puts them out there this way this afternoon. Schwarber, Verdugo, and Renfroe in a very good throwing outfield. Then it's Devers, Iglesias, Hernandez, and Dahlbeck in the infield. Kevin Plawecki has got the plate. We told you about Nick Pivetta. Iglesias, a slick fielding shortstop. Xander Bogaerts made a play last night that was as good as you'll see. And it turned out that probably was a game saver because Luis Robert hit a double after that. That would have put second and third, nobody out.
One of those plays, and Xander Bogaerts has made spectacular plays in the past. One of those plays that he didn't even believe he made until he made it.
No, just an outstanding effort, and he threw basically from his posterior.
Yoan Moncada in the air into right center field and falling quickly for a base hit. Now he's going to try for second. Off the juggle, he's in there head first.
Good hustle by Moncada. He hit it off the end of the bat, and as it converged in the outfield, Renfroe ran by it, Verdugo ran by it, and so heads up play by Yoan. This is a curveball. It's early in the count. It's exactly the way you should do it, and then nobody is able to get to it. And so as everybody runs by the ball, that means it's an 80-year warranty.
Close. Sox double brought to you by Elgin Hyundai, home of the double warranty. 20 years, 200,000 miles on every new Hyundai. See ElginHyundai.com for details. At Steve Stone's car lot, which is the only thing Steve endorses on this telecast, you can get a warranty that he tells you about. Specifically, Elgin Hyundai would like me to tell you that it's 20 years, 200,000 miles. So we're clear. Here's Abreu with the on-base streak up to 23 games for Yoan Moncada, getting into Wander Franco territory. See if Pito gets a first pitch fastball here. He let one by against Seabold yesterday early, and this is off the corner.
You know, Yoan might be able to catch Franco because he's on the IL with a hamstring, and hamstrings are tricky. Tampa Bay knows they're going to be the #1 seed. They know they're going into the playoffs definitively, and they might not want to risk Franco as far as the regular season is concerned. So Yoan's got a shot at him.
The Rays are 9 games clear of Boston, 6.5 clear of Houston for first place. Big rip. The Blue Jays scored a couple more, but the Orioles have scored as well. It's 16-4. The Argonauts have the lead over the Ravens.
Wind blowing out in Baltimore.
The pitchers are, I believe. It's been a rough go for Brandon Hyde in that bullpen.
Yeah, the O's are really struggling.
1-1. Abreu takes a strike.
Pivetta originally drafted by the Washington Nationals, 4th round. That was in 2013. And traded to Philadelphia. I think the Phillies always thought he would be a little bit better than it turned out. He had a very good arm, threw hard, was around the plate with everything. But with Philadelphia in full seasons, he was 8-10 and 7-14.
Canadian-born right-hander out of British Columbia, Nick Pivetta. Got strike 3 called on the corner.
We'll take another look. It's a very good fastball, perfectly. I mean, Jose didn't like the call, but it actually was there.
Sometimes somebody just makes a good 2-strike pitch on you.
Yeah, but it's a perfect pitch. I mean, the ball had half the plate. It was at the knees on the outside corner. Eloy swung it very well last night. We anticipate he's going to swing it very well today.
Bunch of fly ball outs, pretty well hit yesterday, including a base hit as well to left. Breaking ball to short. It's Iglesias. And that retires the side. Nobody scores in the first inning, but everyone wins because it's sunny and it's beautiful and it's Sunday afternoon. Sunday, so it's time now for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fresh Take. See a lot of different starting pitchers there, and that's because the Sox lead the league in strikeouts by starters, and it's not even close with 839 of the Yankees, 786. It's a lot.
That's a lot. This is a hard-throwing staff with very good stuff, as you can see by that graphic.
Sox pitching staff on the whole has the highest whiff rate in baseball. That's starters and relievers at about 30%. That's a percent higher than the Yankees in second place. So it's a pretty well runaway, and the Sox getting swings and misses. Second inning brought to you by Menards as Devers takes a strike.
The reason why Lance Lynn is being as effective as he's been, and that's with an ERA just a little above 2.5, is that he's got a strikeout rate of 36% with runners in scoring position. That's truly almost otherworldly compared to what league average is.
My takeaway on that is he makes big pitches.
League average is only 22%. I mean, he dwarfs the league average. So major league hitters, especially the real good ones, and there's a lot of good ones, they take pride in hitting with runners in scoring position, and Lance Lynn takes pride in striking them out. If you strike them out, you're not going to drive them in very often.
Bet you if you asked Lance Lynn what one of his favorite things to do is, he would say leave runners on base. He gets juiced
Well, he does that, and he's also got pretty good stuff. And the best thing about Lance, when he's healthy, now we saw when the knee was bothering him, he wasn't throwing a lot of strike one, strike two. He was missing a way to the right-handers, and that's not usually him. But he attacks you like that.
Yeah, he does. Devers wiped away. Second strikeout for Lynn.
He also doesn't use pitches that have no consequence. In other words, that was close enough where Devers had to protect. It wasn't a setup pitch for another pitch. It wasn't a setup pitch for that cutter down and in. It was a pitch he intended to get him out, and that's what he does.
We have that whiff rate that I was telling you about because Chris Kampka's beard holds everything. Just shake it a little bit and it falls out. Do not shake his beard if you see him in public. Only works in the TV truck.
Well, another factor, you saw the Brewers third. I don't know who's going to run into them in the postseason, but there's not a lot of people anxious to face that team because they're scoring runs now. More importantly, top 3 or 4 in that starting rotation can literally shut down your offense any given day.
Well, Lance threw the Sunday game against Milwaukee. The Sox only win at the ballpark up north. That game and that series felt like a World Series prelude, possibly. I mean, we could very easily see those two teams, the Sox and Brewers, get together in the World Series.
Don't doubt it for a minute. The Brewers leading Cleveland 7-0. They're going to sweep that series, and they're going to do it because the Indians just can't hit their pitching. And by the way, they're in the top of the 5th inning. I know this is going to surprise you for a team that's been no hit 3 times this year. They're being no hit again.
Come on.
Got no hits. It's 7-0. Brewers have 8 hits. The Indians, they do have an error, but they have no hits.
Cannot be redeemed for a hit, that error. That's Eric Lauer on the hill. He's walked 1, struck out 5. Lightly hit, Central. Robert, 2 down. We like to give you news and notes around Major League Baseball. Toronto, 11 runs on 4 homers in the final inning of a doubleheader game. Baltimore was up. They were no hitting Toronto, and then suddenly, look out. Yikes. Aaron Judge, 2 homers against the Mets, and a big win for the Yankees. That was a comeback win on a really touching night in New York with a couple of ceremonial first pitches. Bobby Valentine, Joe Torre.
You know, the Blue Jays scored 11 runs in an inning yesterday. Just to show it wasn't a fluke, they scored 10 runs in the 3rd inning today.
That's an outrage, that offense is. I bet you they would get a hit against the Brewers. I bet you.
Well, hopefully we don't have to find that out.
That's correct.
But right now, just like teams don't want to face the Brewers, right now nobody wants to face Toronto. It's been just a wrecking crew.
They look like they are going to take one of those wild card spots. I mean, Robbie Ray as an anchor to that pitching staff when he's not yelling at Brandon Hyde. Robbie Ray has been marvelous.
They also get Barrios, and Ryu is starting to throw the ball well again. So what used to be a soft spot, the starting rotation, now not so soft. Now they can go get you. Now the bullpen at times can be problematic.
They just got rid of Brad Hand as this ends up in center field. Robert is back on it. And there is out number 3. You're going to have to wait to find out some news and notes on that no-hitter. Maybe later.
Did I tell you we love Lance Lynn?
Yeah, oh yeah. First Brewers no-hitter. We told you we'd give you some facts and figures. First Brewers no-hitter since Wandy Avis back in 1987. How about this for Cleveland? They've been no-hit officially 3 times, and Zach Plesac's been on the mound for all 3 of them.
That's just bad luck.
Or everybody hates you for some reason. I think you've heard he's a great competitor. He's a good teammate. Lorenzo Cain made the catch of the night in this no-hitter.
And Lorenzo Cain doesn't seem to get old. I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. We've seen him for a long time. We saw him in Kansas City. We see him now for the 2nd time in Milwaukee. And it's a shame the Brewers can't hang around Cleveland for 5 or 6 more games and just beat him around a bit.
Just leave him there.
Let him play the Tribe, and we'll get to that magic number pretty quickly.
There you go. Good plan. Saw Nolan Ryan's name on that graphic as well, as he is with many no-hitter graphics. Pitching Ninja, our old pal, did a comparison of the mechanics of Michael Kopech and Nolan Ryan last night that were eerily similar. And it brought to mind Kopech a couple years ago. We were talking, and he had mentioned that Nolan Ryan was one of the guys he looked up to. And that's not a coincidence that there's some Nolan Ryan and Michael Kopech.
Well, I think maybe we'll see it a little bit more as Michael matures and maybe goes back as a starting pitcher. We're going to see a little more leg drive. That's what Nolan had. High leg kick and big leg drive.
Yaz's ground balls are getting through because they're hit so hard. That's a base knock to right.
He keeps on performing. He keeps on getting on base. He keeps on hitting the ball hard from both sides of the plate. Unfortunately, last night he hit the ball so hard from the right side that the Sox couldn't score. And that wound up runners at first and third, nobody out. They could not get it home and lost the ball game. But that's because he keeps on having some exit velocities like you can only read about.
That was his alter ego, Yasmani ground ball.
He didn't do that too often.
No, that's why it's turned into his alter ego.
Ah.
Yeah. Like Clark Kent, you know.
Didn't he play second base for the Giants?
Yeah, he was on Survivor one season too. There's a strike to Leury Garcia. Gavin Sheets next. Hernandez to follow. Everybody from the left-hand side against Pivetta. Pivetta, like so many kids growing up in Canada of his generation, was somebody who idolized the late great Roy Halladay.
But Halladay was really good. Just an unbelievable pitcher, regardless of where he went.
0-2. Garcia fouled it away. I was in Toronto with the Bulls the day that we found out that Roy Halladay had passed. And it was basically a national day of mourning for Canada. Downstairs, ball and 2 strikes.
A couple of things that really came into play with Roy Halladay was that he was universally loved by his teammates, but also, regardless of where he threw, he was known as just a bulldog on the mound. I mean, a guy that was going to give you a tough effort each and every ball game.
To first, Dahlbeck, return pass coming, and that is in time. Nice stretch by Dahlbeck on that return peg for the double play.
Dahlbeck has had a really good series defensively. I mean, this is an outstanding throw, and then getting back to the bag to locate it. It was this kind of stretch that ended the ball game last night. If he doesn't have his foot on the bag, it's going to be a tie game. He gets back, keeps his foot on the bag, and makes the play. The 3-6-3 is not quite as difficult. 3-5-3, not quite as difficult as a 3-5-1 or 3-6-1 because the pitcher is not involved. But he clearly had him.
So 2 down. And Sheets coming up. That, you watch it a second time, that is very clearly an outstanding play by Dahlbeck.
Gavin should have pretty decent at-bats against Pivetta because he likes to keep his fastball down. Gavin likes to hit low fastballs. Change-up, not so much.
Yeah, change-up.
That was pretty good change.
Fouled off right over the net to Gavin Sheets. 1-2. Pivetta was gone for about a week. He was on the COVID IL, one of 12 guys for the Red Sox who ended up either in contact tracing as a close contact or with COVID-19.
You also have to give Alex Cora a lot of credit for keeping the team together through some really difficult times with COVID this year.
Struck him out. That ball danced. Slow curve from Pivetta, who got the double play, and we're scoreless through 2. We all love nostalgia. We're going to think back to days of yore, to last night on White Sox baseball.
Days of your what?
Lives. Michael Kopech called last night 2 steps forward for him.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, we recognized it early as far as the life of that fastball was concerned. He threw great sliders, but more than that, I mean, forget the 99 to 100 because of many times he's got that kind of velocity, but it was the late life, the little movement that took it off the sweet spot, and he was just brilliant through 2 1/3.
Michael Kopech's man bun can't compete with that ponytail, though.
And snacks. Got to love snacks.
Gotta have snacks. 6 up, 6 down for Lance Lynn, and Travis Shaw at the plate. And a first pitch strike. 3rd inning brought to you by Hyundai. I don't know about you, but my Twitter is filled with people saying they're either watching the Sox or going to watch later, watching football at the same time. There are a lot of people watching football and the Sox right now. So I think people should tweet us in their setup, and we should show their setup of how they're watching all of this at the same time, being the first NFL Sunday. How about hashtag Sunday setup?
How about picture and a picture and a picture and a picture? They
Okay.
still have that?
You can use either. You can use hashtag picture and a picture and a picture and a picture. And I know somebody's going to do it. So that's a hashtag. Use Sunday setup or picture and a picture and a picture and a picture. And I just snuck it in before the 0-2, which is ball 1. You know, I think you should create the hashtags from now on.
I think it's terrific, yeah.
I think Sox math would have been Sox trivia with addition if you didn't.
Travis Shaw much better with the Red Sox. This is his second go round with them, and he's doing this for just one reason. Kent State, just outside of Cleveland.
Hashtag Maction. Down he goes. 1 gone. Your 2021 Chicago White Sox, presented by Guaranteed Rate. Visit rate.com to learn how you can make your dream home a reality with Guaranteed Rate. If you believe, you will. I don't know that either of us took your advice and got our rest.
That was a long game last night. In fact, I think it just ended about 45 minutes ago. That game seemed to go on forever. It was exciting, no doubt about it. A lot of offense, always is. Didn't end quite the way we would like, but seemingly went on forever.
Yeah, time of the game, 4 hours, 12 minutes.
Yeah, and this is why you have to love Lance Lynn, because he's out on the mound. He hasn't been out there for a while, coming off a sore knee, and he's decided to throw all strikes today.
We like Lance.
We love Lance Lynn.
He's turned you into Brick Tamlin from Anchorman.
Yeah.
I love Lance.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's aggressive. Everything he throws moves. And more times than not, he does not walk himself into trouble.
Check, swing, no go. So for Lance Lynn, by my count, that is 10 pitches out of the zone, 19 strikes.
Just barely able to check it up, and he did check it up.
My gosh, somebody just tweeted at me, hashtag picture and a picture and a picture and a picture.
See?
They barely had enough room to tweet.
See, it works.
I really like the resolve of the people who didn't use Sunday setup and are using picture and a picture and a picture and a picture. One and two. Check swing again.
Well, I don't know how you check that up, because number one, it was right where Lance wanted to throw it. I mean, I'm talking about it missed by an inch. He did check it up, but I'm not sure how he was able to do that.
While we were chatting, the Blue Jays scored 2 more. They're up 18-4 on the Orioles.
Yeah, but there's a long way to go.
That is definitely what they're saying on Masson right now. Here's what Lance Lynn has done with his pitches this year.
Four-seam fastball, they've hit under 200. I mean, nobody hits him really well except the occasional curveball, and he doesn't throw that many of them. So you can understand why he would be a handful for any type of offense, even the best of them.
We got a lot of Sunday setups coming in right now. We'll show you in a while. Hey, strike three with that finish for Lance. That's a two-part finish, as you see. It starts with the hand in the air.
Let's watch it again. He wanted a fastball in the outside corner, got it there, and that was it. 4 strikeouts, no walks. Finally threw the ball away. Not exactly 4-part harmony, but 2-part finish.
Went high and low.
He did.
2 down, Iglesias.
This is a guy that has handled Lance okay. Usually hits the ball to right or right center field. Usually tough to strike out.
Quite often a ground ball hitter.
And will swing at just about everything, as that on base percentage under 300 will dictate.
There's a ground ball third base side, and that is going to be a fair ball. I thought maybe it was going to roll foul.
I think that's a mistake by Sebi, and the reason I say that is you can go out there and you cannot throw out Iglesias. And by the way, Lance kind of slipped off the mound, and that's something to bear in mind. You got to let that ball, and I don't know if it's going to roll foul, but you have to give it a chance to roll foul, because if you touch it, he's safe at first base. You see the spin on it is taking it to the line. Now again, whether it goes foul or not remains to be seen, but if you touch it, it's a base hit anyway.
That's a great point. At the very worst, it's a hit, but it's not going to be a double. So if you let it roll, you lose nothing.
Yeah, if they let it roll and it stays fair, well, he's going to be exactly where he is at first base.
Ball 1 to Hernandez. So first base runner for the Red Sox comes on a big old chopper.
Hopefully that little stumble off the mound is not going to affect Lance.
Seen that now with Lance and with Lucas. You got some people playing Is It Lunch? They didn't want to play Sunday setup or picture and a picture and a picture and a picture. I can't believe you've made me say that as much as I have.
No, it's good though.
It's fantastic. 1-1, stuffed on the inside corner or thereabouts. 1-2.
We'll take another look. Roberto Ortiz behind the plate. Yeah, that's in the neighborhood. Not a strike, but it's in the neighborhood.
It's the neighborhood play. Lance has 4 strikeouts. He's got a 1-2. Tampa Bay was down 2-1 in the 8th. They scored 4 in the top of the 8th. Brett Phillips hit a home run. Driven in 4. Three and 2 on Hernandez. Lance Lynn back after the IL stint with knee inflammation. That was the right knee.
Yeah, to me, right now, he's not as stable on that knee as he was the first 8 hitters. And hopefully that's just an illusion.
Struck him out. 3 strikeouts in the inning. That fastball was an illusion to Kike Hernandez. 3 strikeouts for Lance Lynn, and deep inside, they're all the same.
A lot of high fastballs, and he's thrown it by these Boston hitters. So far, the hitter's a little tired from yesterday's heroics. Follow our Sox insider, Vinny Duber, at NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com. Because Nationwide is on your side. Yeah, day game after a night game.
Well, I was thrown. You hit your cough button in the middle of the word because, so I didn't know when to go.
I thought that was the amplifier. I was looking for some harmony, and it turned out to be the cough button. Yeah, well.
So last night I was trying to say something about, I want to say it was Cesar Hernandez.
Well, if you want to say it, say it.
Well, I did, but I hit my talkback button while I was saying it, so I said it to the truck. And Withers said, "Thanks for yelling at me about Cesar Hernandez."
That can happen. I've heard.
We have a button that kills our microphone and goes directly into the truck.
Yep.
So I just yelled about the Sox second baseman at our producer. Whoops. 1-2, Pivetta to Hernandez. 2-2.
Kind of interesting that on a 1-2 count, that's when the infield shifted and made Cesar into a dead pull hitter. Probably means an off-speed pitch, you would think.
Okay.
I mean, there's your slider, but otherwise there's no reason to shift when you get to 1-2. They believe that Hernandez is going to pull the ball.
Foul. Did you see it was Patrick Wisdom yesterday who fouled the ball off of his helmet?
It's usually not a good sign.
Yeah, he fouled the ball off his helmet and was laughing and laughing and laughing. It was against Kevin Gausman. Gausman threw a splitter inside. He fouled it off his head. Not ideal.
Wisdom hasn't hit for a big high average, but when he makes contact, it goes a long way. Schwindel has been hitting everything in sight.
Frank Schwindel's been one of the best hitters in baseball the last month.
Yes, he has.
3-2. Struck him out, busted him inside with a fastball. Close out the regular season with 2 lower level tickets for $30. Still plenty of exciting White Sox baseball to come. The Angels are in, the Reds are still in, so be here for it all. For tickets and more info, visit whitesox.com/closer. Shohei Ohtani and the Angels are here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. Then Cincinnati, final week of September for a 2-game series. That could be a huge series. The Reds right now, Steve, are down 2-0 to St. Louis in the third.
You don't say.
I know you were interested with the Reds coming in a couple
boy,
weeks.
Are you? Oh, absolutely.
You want that Washington-Pittsburgh score yet? High fly ball. Seby Zavala to left field. Schwarber is back at the track, and he makes the catch.
Seby hit a towering fly ball, and the wind was trying to carry it out. Pivetta very happy that that one just stayed in. Schwarber went back as far as he can go. He got a fastball. It was middle in, and Seby got most of it, but just not quite enough.
Like a good neighbor, Schwarber makes the catch.
It was a wall scraper.
2 down, Robert. Ball 1. No walks. 8 strikeouts for the starting pitchers so far.
Luis had 4 hits last night.
Super Joe lets it go.
What I like about what he's done since coming back off the IL has been using the whole field. I mean, pretty much when you look at the outfield, defensing him dead straight away, you realize that he is hitting the ball all over. Now, in the infield, if he hits a ground ball, he's probably going to pull it.
Ooh, look out. Yoan nearly got guillotined in the on-deck circle.
At this point, the way he's been playing and getting on base, but playing defense at third base, you can ill afford to lose him.
He's had a couple of those this year, I feel like, in the on-base circle, on-deck circle. 1-2. Pivetta struck him out. Good diving breaking ball. Ends the inning. Well pitched game so far. Pivetta and Lynn, no score.
No.
Back to you, Steve and Jason.
What? That was close up on a golf course is what the art houses are calling it. Wow, that was there's got to be an inside joke there, right? There's just got to be. Number of hits Minnie Minoso had on this date in 1976, plus the year of his previous MLB hit. Fourth inning brought to you by Elk Grove Village. Learn more about our Beyond Business Friendly community at makerswanted.org. I don't know what happened in that video, but I'm interested. I want to watch the making of that video on the DVD extras now. I want to know what they left out.
When you do, let me know, certainly.
That's what I'm going to do for my off day. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. 1-0. Strike. So that is the total year of Minnie Minoso's prior hit, not the sum of the numbers in the year. It's the total year. Hashtag Sox Math to see if you get to do the video on a golf course with a close-up on Tuesday. 1-1 is called a strike. Top of the zone. 1-2 for Schwarber.
Schwarber's the guy you got to be careful with because he's the guy that has hit a couple of home runs against Lance. The only guy in this lineup, by the way, that has hit a home run against him.
Struck him out again. 6 for Lance Lynn.
He's given Schwarber in the infield in 2 at-bats. And this one, it looked like it was going to be a fastball down. Instead, it was just a little cutter. Took it off the sweet spot, and Lance continues to roll along.
If you're trying to explain pitch tunneling to anybody or you're trying to learn about it, Lance Lynn is the perfect guy to be the guidepost for that. It's pitches that stay on the same plane for as long as possible to confuse hitters, and he does that impeccably.
Also, another factor, because he throws basically 92% fastballs, you know a fastball's coming. You just can't tell the speed or the movement. So he's going to throw you a fastball, you know that. So that's 100%, or in this case 92% you're going to guess right. But then try to guess the speed, which you can't because he throws a lot of different speeds, and what the ball is going to do. Is he going to sink it? Is he going to cut it? Is he going to throw the occasional big breaking cutter, which looks like a slider? You just don't really know.
Pass Grandal and foul. 1-2. So if you're a hitter, and I know you only were a tremendous hitter against J.R. Richard, but if you're a hitter, you go up to the plate, how do you attack Lance Lynn?
Well, you try to do what I tried to do, only didn't do it effectively, and that is look for a first ball fastball, and if it's in the zone anywhere, you have to swing at it. You don't want him to get you to 2 strikes because he can do a whole lot of things with the baseball. When he gets to 2 strikes, you're really in a hole with Lance Lynn. So try to get him before that if you can.
To left field. Eloy Jimenez stalks it for round number 2.
Tonight, before the Bears face the Rams on Sunday Night Football, joins Lance Briggs, Alex Brown, and David Kaplan for the primetime pre-show. Get their hot takes on tonight's game and what else to expect this season. That's tonight at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Good luck, by the way, to Jeff Joniak and his entire crew on Bears football on the radio. By the way, Jeff is a personal favorite play-by-play announcer for the Bears, and so good luck to him and to the entire group.
I would really love to see them pull an upset tonight, because then it's going to give everybody, and everybody in this city are Bear fans, and most everybody, no division as far as the baseball allegiance. Not that way with the Bears. But if they do win, if they can pull the upset, it's going to be a great week. Trying to speculate just how far they can go.
And who the quarterback of the future is, and all of those things that David Kaplan will say, take that about, on the show you're talking about. 0-2 to Rafael Devers.
Devers has not been able to hit a high fastball in this series. He's having a great year. You're talking about 33 and 102 as far as the power numbers are concerned. But he hasn't been able to lay off that face-high fastball. Let's see if Lance goes back there at 0-2.
Made him dance. A ball and 2 strikes. The Tigers came back to tie the Rays. It's 5-all. That was a 2-1 game going into the 8th, and now it's 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th.
David Robertson came on to stem the tide, but he couldn't hold the tide back. And speaking of stemming the tide, the Indians have 3 hits and a run. They trail 8-1, bottom of the 6th.
The Indians team account just tweeted, update, we got a hit. So that's how it's going in lovely Cleveland. The Blue Jays are threatening again in the top of the 6th. They have 2 on with 1 out. The Orioles are on their 4th pitcher. Eric Hanhold has come in for the Orioles. 3-2. You know, it's been really tough for Baltimore this year. But you know, when you get to the major leagues, there's just not a lot of hand-holding going on. Most days.
There is today in the 6th.
You looked at me when that sentence started as if to say something terrible is going to happen.
I could see it coming from a long way. And Yoan Moncada dealing with a balloon, an errant balloon, one that blew in, and it is an ill wind that blows in a balloon to your infield.
It is.
I mean, this is coming from a long way back. Yoan could see it all the way. He got in front of it. It took a bad hop. Still able to make the play. That's what a good third baseman will do.
He kept it in front of him.
That's it. Choose your own hop.
Sometimes you get a weird hop with a balloon. 3-2. Oh, he got strike 3 called. Lance is walking slowly off the mound. He got his 7th strikeout, and the inning's over. Keep your hat on. We know you're watching all the sports right now. You got Lance Lynn on one TV. Use the hashtag Sunday Setup or
picture in a picture in a picture in a picture. Very easy to search for on Twitter, we're told. And that's what happens. That's what you get.
Sox Cave from Ed Conrad.
Yeah, Sunday Setup is easy though.
A little blurry. We're getting ready for the kickoff. Looks like the Giants there. There's the Vikings, I guess. Buffalo's leading Pittsburgh. There's your update. There was that hit that the Red Sox got. Now this is good stuff from Mike Solmania, sanctioned by Vince McMahon.
Well, so far nobody warming up in the bullpen. I say that because Lance Lynn was walking gingerly on that knee. It wasn't last inning, but the inning before that.
Nice cover by Pivetta for out number 1 on Moncada. You believe maybe on the hit by Iglesias?
Yeah, I think it was on the hit to Iglesias that he started to feel the knee. And watch him come off and watch how he's walking. Now, so far, he's going to stay in the game. Devers thought that backdoor cutter did not have the plate. But I think it is an area of concern.
It's fairly self-explanatory, but I'd like to hear your detail on it. Why is that knee so important for a pitcher?
Well, if it's the right knee, and I suspect that it is, it's the push-off knee. And without that, you're not going to be able to have the control or the velocity you would normally have. Either knee is a problem. Whether it's the landing knee or the push-off knee, they both do different things for a pitcher. But stability, it's just like a hitter. You talk to hitters, and they talk about hitting off a stable base. Get your timing. Make sure the front foot is down. Make sure that you have great balance. Great hitters talk about great balance. Pitchers are very similar to that. Great pitchers will talk about balance. They'll talk about both legs working together, the push-off and then the landing. And without that stability, number one, the control is not going to be there. That was really the key with Lance Lynn when he got hurt before, was all of a sudden he couldn't dot the outside corner with his fastball, which is something he'd done all year. So you could tell that it was bothering him somewhat, and hopefully he is going to be okay today.
Two strikes. Fouled away by Jose. Pivetta is ready and raring to go, and he has been all day, just ready to throw.
He's also going right at our Sox hitters, not messing around too much. His control has been very good.
Verdugo, 2 down. Here's your Sox Math winner for today. Hashtag Sox Math to play along. J.P. Cole's your winner. Minnie Minoso had a hit this date in 1976. The year of his previous hit was 1964. Minnie was in his early 50s today when he had a base hit. 1965 is your answer. What a remarkable human being who needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
He was just such a wonderful athlete. I mean, he actually brought the same type of excitement to the game that Jackie Robinson brought. He was a great base runner. He was quick. He just was all out hustle every play, every day. And I had a chance to get to know him very well when I got to the White Sox. Minnie was always around. Very funny guy. I mean, he was terrific, and he loved the game of baseball. He loved everything about it. He loved the way it was played, and he played it the right way. 100% all out every day.
What was he like as a person, getting to know him?
He was just a nice man, a funny guy. He had this little glint in his eye. Always getting to know Minnie, it was like he knew a secret that you didn't know. He just loved every aspect of life, and that's what made him a remarkable man.
We got to get him into the Hall of Fame.
That would be really nice, not only for the numbers he put up, but for his impact on the game of baseball and the era he played in.
1-2 off the plate, a little bit low. 2-2. A primal scream from Pivetta on that pitch.
He's been able to center in that outside corner pretty well, but this is not there. That's a little low and a touch off the corner.
Two and two. Another ground ball. Yasmani's under attack. The on deck circle.
With hitters, they're going to hit the occasional pitcher's pitch, just the occasional pitcher's pitch. But hitters wait for you to make a mistake. And the good hitters, when you make a mistake, they don't let you get away with it. So far, Pivetta has not made a mistake to Eloy.
His breaking stuff has been really sharp today.
It's not only been sharp, but he's been able to throw it exactly where he wants to. That was a perfect pitch. It was just off the outside corner. And he's really zeroed in that outside corner to the right-hand hitter. When he goes in off the plate, which is the way to pitch inside.
2-2 again. That's strike three, one way or the other. 96 in the zone. A combined 12 strikeouts, no walks, no score. Hey, why don't we get caught up? Presented by Bob Locurcio Auto Group. Tony, I know you love good pitching performances.
This has been a dual good pitching performance. Both guys hitting their spots and both guys just completely handcuffing pretty decent offenses. Like they were pretty tired from last night's game. Lance Lynn has been brilliant. No walks, 7 strikeouts in 4 innings, and hopefully all is well with that knee. Walked a little gingerly off, but you can probably bet that he's wearing a brace on it, you would assume.
Well, no walks, bunch of strikeouts. And by the way, talk about long games the last couple of days. That was 412 yesterday, 348 on Friday. So that is 8 hours of baseball exactly in 2 days. And the Red Sox, show them what they've won. They're going to Seattle after the game. Congratulations on your long trip.
Seattle is playing pretty well, although they lost one yesterday. That's not going to help them very much, but that team is right there. I mean, it's a 5-way race for the wild card. Pretty impressive.
5th inning brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Pop-up foul ground. Moncada over near the tarp, and he runs out of room. What are you watching now with Lance Lynn as he pitches here in the 5th?
Well, look, it's a different game than it used to be, and Boston's a different team. But normally, in a situation where a guy comes back from any knee difficulties or leg difficulties, what the opposing team will try on occasion is bunting the ball just to see if the guy is okay. But you don't see that a lot with Boston.
Do see strike 3, 8th strikeout for Lance Lynn.
The stuff has been outstanding. The location has been actually better than the stuff, and so far Lance he's just getting it done. He's getting the ball, he's throwing it. Pavetta's doing the same thing for Boston. I mean, he's getting it, he's throwing it, throwing mostly strikes. This has been quite a pitcher's duel early in this game.
58 pitches for Lance Lynn. Pavetta's thrown 53. Strike 1 once again.
He fell off that time, and again, that knee doesn't look great.
To our right and not far from Gene Honda.
We're going to see just how far Lance can go. He's got the stuff to go through 7 in this one, but just coming back, you wonder how far Ethan Katz and Tony La Russa are going to let him go today.
Up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Houston is up 1-0 on the Angels in the 4th. The Sox still are a game and a half back of the Astros for 2nd place and home field in that 1st round. Another strikeout for Lance Lynn.
Sebi wanted a breaking ball, and Lance said, I think I'm going to go with the fastball. Just off the corner, he cuts it just a touch. This ball moving away from Dahlbeck, and no chance. He expanded his zone, and it looked like it was going to shave off the outside corner. Then it moved away.
Lance pitching like all he's wanted to do for the last couple of weeks is get back out on a mound. Like he's missed it a great deal.
Yeah, I think it's pretty difficult for a really good competitor to sit on a shelf for a bit, especially when you know your team is battling for home field advantage to play Houston in the 1st round. You also want to get them to wrap it up as soon as possible. So number one, your starting pitchers especially can get the proper amount of rest to make sure that they're entirely healthy.
Yeah, including himself.
Yeah, and that's absolutely going to be what trying to wrap this up before the team gets to Cleveland for that 5-game series, because then not only for your everyday players but for the pitching staff, you can figure out who you want to go to in the playoffs, and then you give them maybe 3-inning tune-ups. You don't go much beyond that. You make sure that their arm is good, the control is good, but you don't extend them.
Well, and that's why anytime Houston loses, yes, the Sox chasing them down would be great, but if Houston somehow sinks back into a race in the American League West and they can't stack their pitchers, they're 5.5 clear right now. They might be able to. If that's 3 or 2 going into the final week, that's a significant advantage for the Sox.
Well, look, both of these teams, both the Sox and Houston, are much more dominant at home than they are on the road. But it's going to come down to who's the healthiest and who's the hottest at the time. I mean, that's what the playoffs usually come down to. That one extra game you get in a 5-game series doesn't really mean that much.
2-2. And the dirt, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
The reason I say it doesn't mean that much is that it doesn't matter who you face, that pitcher. You're on the road in that first game. If you have a hot first 2 innings, you go up 5 or 6 to nothing. You win that first game. You have wrested home field advantage from the ball club in the first game. So although every team is trying to get a home field advantage if they can, in the grand scheme of things, it's important but not essential.
Second hit for Boston, driving Robert into the alleyway. Travis Shaw, who homered last night.
Hey, White Sox fans, Xfinity Mobile delivers fast nationwide 5G on the most reliable network. Save on your wireless bill with Xfinity Mobile.
One on, 2 out for Plawecki, the Red Sox catcher. Christian Vasquez getting the day off. Join us. Sox take on the Reds Tuesday, September 28th. It's Nurse Appreciation Night, presented by St. Xavier University. All nurses, their families, and friends can enjoy specially priced tickets. Plus, first 1,000 fans to purchase get a White Sox scrub top. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/nurse or call 866-SOX-GAME.
If you've been unfortunate enough to spend any time in the hospital, you will really appreciate the nurses.
They're the best.
Because they really take care of everything.
First base side, Grandal over the shoulder.
How about that? Nice play by the Grandiman.
Nice. You made it rhyme. Time now for some American Sail fun at home. Tim Anderson may have just created something. We may have a home run balloon hat that the Sox put on people for the rest of the season.
Might not be a bad idea, and it could very well be that that's it for Lance Lynn, who was brilliant through 5, but you could tell the knee wasn't all that great. Garrett Crochet loosening in the pen. It's a scoreless game. Both pitchers have given up just 2 hits, as our Sox looking for a run.
Called strike 1 to Yasmani Grandal, who has one of the 2 Sox hits. In fact, both Sox have 2 hits. Moncada a double in the first inning, and then Grandal the single in the second. Two and one.
Well, when you're leading off an inning in a scoreless game, you don't have a lot of speed, as Yasmani does not. You do think about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. The wind has shifted just a bit. He wants to know from Roberto Ortiz if that was a strike. I think it might have been a touch up and out of the zone.
2-2. Left-hand side, Schwarber gives it a look. Sox will be off tomorrow. Then a 7:10 first pitch against the Angels on Tuesday night. Sox will face Packy Naughton on Tuesday. Old Packy Naughton, Cal's long-lost brother. Never got into the stock car game. 2-2, wrapped foul, first base side.
Well, the question will be on Thursday whether it's Ohtani or not. He had a tough time out last time. And because the Angels aren't going anywhere, you wonder if they would extend him and bring him back maybe earlier than he normally would be.
Oh, nice jumping grab on the right side of the infield for out number 1. Brilliantly done by Jose Iglesias.
He is looking for his second hit of the day, and he couldn't hit it too much harder. Iglesias goes up, and with about a 2.5-inch vertical leap, he hauls it in.
Good slide of phone book under there.
Oh, not bad. I mean, did a nice job.
Oh, wow. Jeimer Candelario just hit a 2-run homer for the Tigers with 2 out in the 10th to tie the game in that 10th inning against Tampa Bay. What a game that was and is.
Detroit's battling.
So are the Orioles. They're within 17 now.
Coming back.
Love a Sunday day game. Everybody's playing at the same time pretty much. A couple of West Coasters later on. Oh, and 2 on Garcia. Inside. Red Sox feel like a team that just, like the White Sox, just has not all been healthy at the same time this year.
Well, look, they have every intention of making a determined run to the playoffs, and to do that, they got to have a healthy Chris Sale coming back. That will be one of the keys because he missed a good portion of this year, so he's going to come back entirely healthy and strong. Not like a lot of pitchers who are now 26, 28 starts deep into a season where the arm is starting to show some effects of a lot of use. With Chris Sale, when he gets by the COVID situation, he's going to come back as a very healthy pitcher and certainly a game 1 guy in whatever series they're in, and it'll be the one and done.
3-2. Red Sox are a game up on Toronto and the Yankees for that first wild card spot in the American League, but that could change hands this afternoon. Blue Jays are going to win. Garcia will see an 8th pitch.
Well, if somehow the Blue Jays cool off, then that remains to be seen. Let's say the first 2 in the wild card are the Yankees and Boston. Imagine Cole against Sale in that first game, that one and done game.
Left side, Devers. 2 down. We'll go to the studio, see what's coming up on Subaru White Sox postgame live. It's Ozzie Guillen and Chuck Garfien. Sounds great. Look forward to it, gentlemen. Back in the 8th inning. On the subject of Toronto, what might cool them off is 2 series of their next 3 are against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's never really a good thing.
Yeah, or they could win the AL East if they sweep those 2 series. Likely not.
Yeah, probably not. But The thing with the Rays, and this has been the case with them over the recent vintage, they just don't beat themselves very much. They have a terrific defense. They throw to the right bases. They run the bases correctly. They steal when they have to. They have now a lot of offense in that lineup that they never used to have. But the addition of Cruz has meant so much. And bringing up Franco has also, I mean, that used to be a team where you could probably count on a low-scoring game. Not so anymore. Now Tampa can really score some runs to go with everything else they have.
Much deeper lineup than they had before. Sheets to the right side. Iglesias throws him out. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Pavetta's retired now 11 in a row.
For the Miller Lite moment. Lance Lynn was absolutely brilliant. I mean, you could have asked for a better outing. He went 5, no runs, only 2 hits, 0 walks, no walks with 9 big strikeouts. So when you're looking for an encouraging outing from a guy coming back from a knee difficulty, that was the game for Lance Lynn. Now, the only thing about it is the knee looked like it bothered him a bit as Garrett Crochet comes on for the 46th time. ERA below 3, 291, a lot of strikeouts. Lefties, righties, they just don't hit him very well. The only time that Garrett gets hurt is when the control isn't exactly where he wants to, but the stuff has been great.
Now Garrett had a string of 6 straight appearances with at least 1 walk. Now he's on 5 straight with no walks. And there's ball 1.
He's got a tough guy to deal with because Iglesias will make contact. Moncada is even with the bag, just at the cut of the grass at third.
1-1 in the 6th inning, brought to you by Mike's Hard Lemonade Seltzer. You like a good seltzer?
Never really cared for it.
Really?
No.
I would have thought you're a seltzer guy. You're very bubbly.
If it's going to be carbonated, I have to have some sugar in it.
We can get you sugary seltzer. 2-1. Golf towards center. Robert will not have a play. I don't know that Luis saw that ball off the bat great.
I don't think he read it well because normally he can make that play. This one went floating out in the right center. He's right with it, and then just kind of pulls up and plays it on the hop.
So leadoff man aboard for the first time in this ball game for the Red Sox. And here is Kike Hernandez. Roche slides home with the first pitch that's called high, ball 1. Two and 0.
Long look down to third base for Hernandez, but he's looking fastball. Figures he's going to get it at 2-0, especially with nobody out and a man at first.
Robert in center, coasting back. He has room. Iglesias tags, and he is in there. Did he come off the bag? Yes, he did. The anchor didn't work.
That's a huge mistake. And Luis Robert didn't have a chance to really set up to get everything he needed to get in that throw, and yet it got there. It got there pretty quickly. Now Iglesias takes a few steps, realizes that Robert is going to catch it backpedaling. He's able to plant a bit, He got it there and then tumbles off the bag, and a good job by Hernandez keeping the tag on him. Yeah, he got the hand right there, then he got the leg, he got everything. That looked like a lawn dart for a second. He tried to do a Javi Baez. Instead, I'm not sure exactly what that was, but
well, he just went by it.
Yeah, he was a Baez. Okay, bye.
2 out and a strike for Schwarber.
Big break in this game.
He got dirt in his ear.
Well, lawn dart.
Talk about
stuck his head in the sand.
Yeah, there's salt in the wound, and there's sand thrown in your face, but then there's dirt in your ear.
That's a big play in this game.
Huge play. The life of a lawn dart.
But I got to tell you, I mean, I know what he was trying to do is avoid a tag. However, if he just goes right into the bag, he's going to beat it. Because Luis has a very good arm in center field. He just didn't have a chance to really set and get a whole lot behind that throw.
Strike 3, slider in the dirt. Sevy's throw, catch it a catcher. Inning over.
Today's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. Since 1945, Marquette Bank has worked to improve the lives of neighbors, families, and business owners. They're a modern neighborhood bank with online banking, mobile banking, and digital home financing. Better than that, they're a bank that cares about your success in our community. So discover neighborhood banking that feels good at emarquettebank.com. You know, it's really paid dividends. I took that home last winter, just read it over and over again, and now it sails through very smoothly.
You must have been really fun at coffee in the mornings with that in hand.
I told the guys I was just preparing for a long year.
And they said back, we're preparing for a long morning. Strike to Cesar Hernandez, Zavala after, and then Robert. The Sox haven't had a hit, Steve, since the second inning leadoff single for Grandal. Foul ball just below our position.
You're not going to get one back here from a left-hander. If it does get back here, and we've had some that have been very close, one that actually came in the booth, it's going to be from a right-hander. So you can relax. I'll protect you.
Okay, I'll buy it until the I'll protect you. Right hand side. Hernandez throws it wide. Cesar is safe. Kike Hernandez missed the mark, and the Sox have the door open for the first time in the game.
He just rushed the play because that was a hard hit ball. All he had to do was catch it, take his time, and make a good solid throw. And he wasn't able to do it. Watch how quickly he gets rid of it. Doesn't have to do it that way. And it cost him. It's E4. Again, a break. This one goes our Sox way.
Great point by you. He had a step and a half to play with.
All kinds of time, and he decided to flip it going backwards. I mean, that was more style over substance.
And you saw the look on his face. He knew it right when he did it, what he had done. Sebi shows bunt. And he pushes it down. Pivetta off the mound, the underhand toss. And that moves Hernandez to second base. Sox fans, don't miss out on your chance to dine with Bo Jackson at lunch with the Sox Monday, September 20th at Guaranteed Rate Field. The event consists of a seated luncheon and moderated conversation with Bo, as well as the opportunity to meet with the legendary two-sport athlete. He was so good. For tickets and more information, visit whitesox.com/lunch.
This at-bat's going to be determined the first couple of pitches. I say that because Pivetta will throw that sweeping breaking ball if he gets the 2 strikes. Luis has got to try to attack him early and drive home the first run of the ball game.
He went early and he grounded it foul. It was a breaking ball to start him.
Yeah, that was more of a hanger than anything else, but unfortunately he yanked it foul.
Cesar at second, 1 gone. Pivetta only 78 pitches. These bullpens have been getting time and a half the last 2 days.
That's why both starting pitchers, Lance going 5 and Pavetta now in the 6th, is a godsend for the respective pens.
Into left field, base hit. Schwarber just got to it. Cesar's on his way home. Throw to second, not in time. Robert doubles in a run. It's the first run, and it's 1-0.
He got him early, and he got him before he could get to 2 strikes. Took it through the left side, and even though Cesar was stopped because he wanted to make sure that it didn't go through, he made sure it got through. It wasn't hit at anybody, and then took off and realized that as deep as Schwarber was, there was no way they could get him at the plate. Also, he had to go far to his right. Joe McEwing says keep on going. No chance to get him at the plate, and on the back end on the throw, it's a single. He advanced on the throw, and it's 1-0.
You make an argument that he might have gotten to second base anyway. They'll call it an RBI single. 1-0 Sox. Regardless, that's what matters. 12 got home. Pavetta is leaving, and the Sox have a 1-0 lead with Moncada coming up against the bullpen.
Lakeside Bank called to the pen. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And Adam Ottavino comes on for the 62nd time. He's been a busy man. 21 holds, that's been good. Left-handers have really hurt him. Right-handers have not. ERA of 3.83. Too many walks. You can see 31 of them in 56 in the third. But yet he's been pretty effective this year. He inherits Luis Robert at second base. Big base hit, driving in the only one of the ball game. Now it's time for Yohan Moncada to deliver. He's been swinging it very well. Sox could use this run here to put a little more daylight in front.
Magic numbers started the day at 11. It could drop to 9. Cleveland's down 11-1 to Milwaukee in the 8th. Strike 1. Leadoff error brings home the first run of the ball game. Robert dancing off the bag at second, drawing Ottavino's attention.
In last night's game, a couple of times he took a break to third base as if to steal. Now, I don't think that Tony La Russa wants to run necessarily with Luis at this point and risk him getting hurt. But perhaps in the playoffs, we're going to see him steal third base. If you're going to steal third, stealing it with 1 out is ideal. There's no reason to waste it with 2 outs, except if you got a pitcher who throws a hard slider in the dirt a lot, where maybe on a short pass ball or wild pitch you can score.
That's a dart for a strike. 1-2 on Moncada. Down the left field line, Schwarber is there to make the catch, and Robert goes back to second.
Tonight, after the Bears kick off their season on Sunday Night Football, flip to NBC Sports Chicago for the Football After Show. Join Lance, Alex, Olin, Coach Wani, and Cap as they break down the game against the Rams.
Cap must have paid extra. We got 2 of those in today.
I know, he's big. I mean, he's just everywhere, literally everywhere. Does every show.
All the time.
Yep.
He's on right now somewhere.
So the question is, with 2 outs and baseball's leading run producer, Dave Bush is going out there to say, look, you got first base open. Eloy is not swinging it well behind him. And maybe he's just asking him, do you feel comfortable with Abreu or would you rather have Eloy? It looks for the moment like they'll at least start to go after Jose. I don't think they'll go after him in the strike zone. If they do, if they throw him a hittable pitch here, I think it will be a mistake.
Last night in the ninth, they walked him intentionally to bring up Jimenez. That was Whitlock who threw to Jimenez. We've seen it before on the other side where the Sox have decided, hey, let's pitch around somebody, and it happened to be Vlad Guerrero Jr. See what Abreu does. First pitch inside as expected to him. Ball one. One ball, one strike. They came in again, that time with a fastball.
That one had the whole plate, though. Jose got a pitch just a little more inside than he would like.
RBI single, Luis Robert, and a 1-0 Sox lead here in the sixth inning. Nice catch by Plawecki on a dive bomb low and away on a breaking ball. 3-1.
Early part of this at bat, Ottavino got probably closer than he might like. That time he decided that there is no way he's going to pitch to him, and falling behind at 3-1, they're just putting him on first base.
See, I understand maybe the guy will get himself out, but you pitched. I mean, sometimes you make a mistake and you get beat because of a mistake. Do you really want a chance getting beat because of a mistake to throw 3 balls to a guy?
No, to me it does make a great deal of sense. You would never do it with a young pitcher because you don't trust that he can nip at the corners, but even veterans make mistakes. Ottavino did on the second pitch. He got the whole plate. But so now it's up to Eloy. You hate to see a guy walk intentionally in front of you.
Ball one, bouncing slightly away, not far enough.
It's a slider down. Plawecki thought he could smother it. He couldn't, but it didn't get away that far.
Two on, two out. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Grandal is next.
Yeah, if you're Eloy and you're thinking about anything in this situation, you're 2-0 and you know the guy behind you, Grandal, is as hot as anybody around. So you're thinking you're going to get one in the zone. This is a pitch that Eloy can really sit on and drive if he gets something in the zone.
Way outside, 3-0. You gonna?
Normally I would, but not in this situation because Eloy isn't swinging it as well as he could, and Grandal is swinging it really well behind him. And Ottavino has had problems with left-hand hitters.
3-0. He did take a pass at it. I'm with you. I'm surprised at that.
Yep. Well, again, Tony is looking for some tip-offs about what to do in the postseason. Detroit, by the way, beat Tampa Bay.
Walk-off walk.
Robbie Grossman, good eye.
3 walks in the inning. Yikes. 3-1 to Eloy. Fouled away. MLB The Show 21 is available now on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and with Xbox Game Pass. Own your rivals. Own the show. Rated E for everyone. Three and two. Adam Ottavino, Eloy Jimenez. He snapped off a breaking ball and struck him out. Sox lead 2, score 1. We go to the 7th in another tight game.
The momentum changer presented by First Midwest Bank. And out of a sea of candidates for momentum changer in a 1-0 game, we picked the one that drove home the run. Luis Robert driving the ball into left field, hustling to second base. And that is the difference in the game, which has substantially changed the momentum.
How do we do it? We always pick the right one.
It's amazing. I mean, we had a lot of candidates.
All these little squares in the scorebook. So this is a big batter for Garrett Crochet because he has 2 lefties coming next. Renfroe is very good against left-handed pitching. And he fouls the first pitch away. Crochet got the double play on the fly ball to center in the 6th. Huge play in this game.
Normally, Renfroe against left-handers is going to try to pull just about everything. And with that in mind, there's 3 on the left side.
And he did. Foul of Carlos Fables, the third base coach for the Red Sox. 7th inning brought to you by the Illinois Department of Transportation. There's Carlos, former big leaguer on the infield, Kansas City Royal. Strike 3. Big first out for Crochet with the lefties coming up.
That was a good slider. He got ahead and then wiped him out with an unhittable slider down and out of the zone. Nice stop by Sebi.
This was a scoreless game that just very recently got shaken up by the RBI single from Robert. Thought the Sox might erupt for more, and Devers takes high and in.
Speaking of that, and you are speaking of that, Joe Grube was kind enough to bring me a very sweet carbonated drink,
a cola,
and then I of course dropped it because I have hands like feet, and I was expecting a big explosion.
I turned to my right as that first pitch just came in, and there was a hiss.
Yeah.
And a striking fear on your face. Oh my, a cyclonic swing from Devers.
Yeah, it pretty much looked like Devers' face after he saw that million-mile-an-hour slider that, at least for the moment, he had no chance on.
Yeah, now what?
Another slider, I would assume.
1-2. Well, he assumed so too, and he nearly got dotted with a fastball. Look at that.
Pretty impressive as far as Red Sox history. Ted Williams, Tony C, Jim Rice, Mookie Betts.
Ooh, Sebi worked hard for him there, didn't get it. 3-2. Thought maybe a slider was coming. 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, he made him look real bad on that one slider. Now he's going to make a good 3-2 pitch.
Here we go. Fouled away on a fastball. Sort of took the slider away from himself in the sequence.
Once you got to 1 and 2, when Devers looks so bad on the slider. You don't need a setup pitch after that. There's no reason to not throw a couple more until you get them.
It was.
The difference was because you can't afford a walk. That was more of the get me over slider than it was the wipeout slider he could have used at 1 and 2.
A little bit high, ball 4. Join us Saturday. Run your socks off 5K presented by Guaranteed Rate. Racers cross the finish line on field, followed by a post-race party on the concourse presented by Michelob Ultra. In-person and virtual race options are available. Learn more at whitesox.com/run. So Verdugo, the hitter, he's very much a fly ball hitter. He's 0 for 2. And he takes a strike. First walk today for the Red Sox after they walked 5 times in the first 3 innings last night. Lance Lynn's not going to walk a whole lot of people.
Not when he had the stuff he had today.
Called a strike. Oh boy. Verdugo might walk to Mokina.
We'll take another look. Oh yeah, it was right there.
Where is there, Steve?
Maybe just a touch high. Just a touch. I would have wanted that though.
Yeah, sure. 0 and 2. A ball. Throw him another high fastball. I mean, he's going to have to chase.
Yeah, no, you're going to throw him. I think you'd throw him a slider here.
Back swing. No.
Dan Bellino says no. Local area boy, isn't he?
He is, like Jason Kipnis.
I think that was a good call. I don't believe that he did swing.
Like Nicky Lopez.
Very much so.
Like Kyle Funkhauser.
He got the win, by the way.
Two and 2.
Garrett got lucky that time. That time he left the slider over the inside part of the plate. And I think Verdugo knew that he let him get away with one.
What do you think? Maybe high fastball here after the strike call earlier in the sequence?
Yeah, that will force him to chase. And he has chased some high fastballs out of the zone in this series.
And you have Ortiz, who kind of is boxed into calling the high strike. Slider center field. Robert is there to make the catch. Well hit by Verdugo, but not well enough.
Well, the wind has shifted, and the wind, at least for the moment, was blowing straight in. And I think that is going to be it for Garrett Crochet. Bobby Dahlbeck coming up, and Tony La Russa would rather have him face a right-hander than the lefty Garrett.
Nice work by Crochet.
It was nice work.
1-0 White Sox in the 7th.
The upcoming schedule presented by Volkswagen. It's the off day tomorrow, and then the Angels come to town for 3. Then it's off on the last road trip of the year. It's the Rangers, the Tigers, and 5 with the Indians. And somewhere on that trip, there's going to be some champagne, you would expect.
You'd imagine so.
Yep.
Magic number is at 10 right now with Cleveland losing today.
Lakeside Bank. Jose Ruiz on for the 52nd time, the ERA of 3.21. A lot of strikeouts. And he's got 2 outs and the tying run at first.
Bobby Dahlbeck, the batter, and he swings through a slider curveball for strike 1. Dahlbeck was sniffing first pitch fastball there. Moncada reaches out, makes a play, inning over. On this Sunday afternoon, we will stick around at stretch time for God Bless America. Attention White Sox fans, best way to get 2021 postseason access is with a White Sox ticket package. Secure your spot this season and next, and don't miss a second of the action. For more information, visit whitesox.com/season tickets or call 312-674-1000.
Darwinzon Hernandez, we saw him in this series on for the 43rd time. When we saw him, he threw it pretty well. Now, control is an issue if our hitters will be a little patient with him.
First pitch, control is an issue. Ball 1. He is from Ciudad Bolivar in Venezuela. You've been there?
I have not. I've always wanted to get there.
1-0 is tight. 2 balls, no strikes on Grandal is 1 for 2. A little insurance would be mighty nice, especially because Kimbrel and Hendricks have thrown the last couple days.
You wouldn't mind seeing a walk here, but he is probably going to get a good pitch to hit. Not that time.
If one is available.
Yeah. When you're averaging in the neighborhood of 7 walks per 9 innings, patience is a virtue.
Letting it rip here.
I would not.
Of course not on that. Ball 4.
Tonight the Bears are kicking off the 2021 season in the national spotlight.
Will David Kaplan have a show?
No, not this time. Watch the Monsters of the Midway take over LA as they face the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Coverage starts at 7 on NBC5. The one show you won't see David Kaplan on this evening.
Love watching those games. Number 1, the Bears are playing, but number 2, for Chris Collinsworth sliding into the picture with Al Michaels.
Yep.
Your former partner.
It's really a good combination. Those guys are excellent. See, that's the thing that is a bit surprising to me. Hernandez doesn't have good control. He's just walked Yasmani on 4 straight pitches, and Leury swings at a pitch out of the strike zone on strike 1. I know it's a swinging era, but sometimes discretion is the better part of valor.
Renfroe. Romy Gonzalez has grabbed a bat. He is on deck. Gavin Sheets will come out.
This has absolutely been a wonderful series.
Oh, yeah.
For in season, this has the postseason feel. All 3 games have been very tough and tight.
Two one-run games, and this one is a third so far as Romy swings through what would have been ball 1. Yasmani did take 4 straight pitches to walk, didn't he?
He can do that. And yeah, and they weren't all that close.
That was a strike. 0-2.
Plawecki's done a nice job behind the plate because that one could have easily have gotten away.
On the ground foul at third from Romy Gonzalez. 15 at bats so far in his major league career. He's 3 for 15. Out of South Florida, went to the University of Miami by way of Hialeah and American Senior High School. Remember Ricky Gutierrez, a shortstop?
I do.
Same high school. Padres for a while.
Ricky was a very solid glove man without a great deal of range, but he was pretty good shortstop.
Strike 3 called. 2 down.
That is a substantial play.
Strike 1 is Cesar. The Red Sox in the top of the 8th will have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Shaw, Plawecki, and Iglesias, which means the 9th inning is the top of the order the way it's set up right now. Iglesias to Hernandez, and that'll do it. Leadoff walk, no harm done by the Sox to the Sox, and it's 1-0 the Sox over the Sox.
Time now for the Xfinity Mobile high-speed action. Lance Lynn was as good as you can get this afternoon. 5 innings, just a couple of hits, but no walks and 9 strikeouts. I mean, he was moving the ball around, throwing strikes with just about everything. He had some life on that high fastball. The cutter was terrific. All things considered, a very successful outing. So both Rodon and Lynn coming back off a little hiatus, both threw very well, and Romy Gonzalez stays in the game to play right field. Jose Ruiz is still in the game after getting the 3rd out last inning. This will be a challenge. Shaw had a big night last night. He drove in 4 runs. 3-run homer in the 3rd. And what turned out to be the game-winning run batted in the 10th.
Ball 1 to Travis Shaw. 8th inning brought to you by the Illinois Lottery. You always have a chance. 2-0 on Shaw. Going to be interesting to see what Tony La Russa does for the final 6 outs here today.
So far, nobody up in the pen.
Shaw catapults this ball into right center field. Romy Gonzalez, Luis Robert. It's Robert for round number 1. And time now for a message for Powering Chicago.
Whether it's lighting up Chicago or helping a neighbor in need, Powering Chicago's commitment to better construction, better careers, and better communities never quits. Powering Chicago, IBEW Local 134, NECA, Chicago.
He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti, and that is the signal that Xander Bogaerts is going to pinch hit for Kevin Plawecki. So they will trade 2 for 1 essentially, with Bogaerts coming up, and they'll bring in Vasquez to catch in the bottom of the 8th.
Ethan Katz comes out. He's going to give Jose Ruiz a scouting report on Bogaerts. Safe to say he's really good. Hitting right around 300. He's done that 2 years in a row, and this year no exception. Roberto Ortiz going out there to break things up.
It's Xander Bogaerts. Here's a guy who crushes fastballs. Just crushes fastballs. Slugging .573 against fastballs this year. .603 last year. .586 the year before that. .573 the year before that.
He's a real good one, and he made the defensive play of the game last night, pretty much saving the ball game.
He somehow has played more Red Sox games than Leury Garcia Parra, among others. He's been around a long time, Xander Bogaerts, in this uniform. That's ball 1.
Yeah, look, Roberto might be getting a little tighter here in the 8th inning, because that has been a strike, and I think Seby Zavala is reminding him of that. If you're going to give it all day, then you have to give it in the 8th.
Second base, Cesar. 2 gone.
Well, credit Jose, because he stayed out there 2 pitches in a row, the second of which was a harmless tap out to the right side.
Now you have Iglesias, who is the last guy you would expect in this lineup, and nothing against him. It's a loaded lineup. Iglesias has 2 of their 3 hits.
Just a contact hitter, but he might have had the bad slide of the day, which turned into a huge break, because he led off the 6th with a base hit. Then a towering fly ball by Hernandez to center field, pushing Luis Robert all the way back to the track. He was catching it kind of on his back foot, and Iglesias tagged up, which was a good thing. It was a bad slide. He got tagged out at second, and they came away empty in the 6th.
Subaru White Sox postgame live follows our game coverage. Chuck and Ozzie will be there along with you leading into the off day tomorrow, as it's 1-2 error Fables. Ruiz 3 straight outs on balls in play. And there is Mike Wright, who may have the 9th inning, considering the usage of Hendricks and Kimbrel. That would be Wright against the top of the order for the Red Sox. Well, with Ruiz only throwing 9 pitches, you could make an argument that he could throw the 9th as well, depending on how many times you wanted to get him up and down. Garcia, it's a 1-2-3-8 for Ruiz. Well done by Jose. And a 1-0 lead in the rubber match.
And this is the difference in the ball game. An inside fastball from Pivetta. It's an unearned run, but a run nonetheless. And that is, to this point, the only run. And Hansel Robles comes on. He's been a closer some of the time. A lot of strikeouts. Walks have been a problem. But 12 for 14 in saves, that's not too bad. ERA up over 5. You know, for closers, they pay off on saves. You look at some of the inflated ERAs sometimes for closers, and many of those runs in non-save or non-essential situations, trying to get an inning in, and they give up 4. That inflates the ERA. We've seen Robles a number of times. Normally he's pretty slow, but this being getaway day and it's on to Seattle, you never know. It might move him along a bit.
Remains to be seen. Xander Bogaerts in at shortstop. He bats 8th. Vasquez, the new catcher, he bats 9th. Neither of them would bat in an ideal world with the Sox leading, and 1, 2, 3 coming up in the 9th. Robles to Zavala. Ball 1. Zavala, Robert, and Moncada coming up.
This is another guy in Robles where you do have to be patient. Although you would just as soon hit his fastball because the changeup is normally pretty good. And
yeah,
just a touch out of the strike zone to even it at 1-1.
Quick pitch. Strike 2.
Yeah, I mean, with nobody on, you might as well do that. Vary your timing and take the timing away from the hitter. He's a crafty fellow, this Robles guy.
Well, now he lifts the leg, holds it for a while. Called strike 3. A little all over the map. 1 down. Subaru White Sox postgame live comes after the game, and to see what's coming up, what they're thinking in the studio, Ozzie Guillen and Chuck Carpine. Chuck, Ozzie, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Luis is a little bit further away from the plate this at bat than I've seen him. Normally, when a guy sets up maybe an inch or 2 further away from the plate, he's looking for the ball away. He's inviting a fastball away and try to take it the other way.
Pitch again, 2-1. Like he was going to come set, then he looked back in. Two and 2.
He got one there up and out over the plate and really let it go. That was a good healthy cut. Balled it straight back.
Red Sox have the 1, 2, 3 hitters coming up in the top of the 9th. Two balls, 2 strikes. Outside on a hard slider, 3 and 2.
Craig Kimbrell getting ready.
He threw the 8th last night. He threw the 8th Friday night. That's ball 4. Robert takes a walk. Sox fans, check out our podcast. Len Casper and I, Sox Degrees. This week, we got Adam Amin and Stacey King joining us. Nothing's off limits. We have some good fun talking about their time doing Sox baseball, the upcoming Bulls season, what they're most excited about, and who knows what else. Subscribe and follow Apple and Spotify. Vasquez is a good thrower. Robert over at first with one down.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to run him here, but you never know. He's getting a decent lead at first, and Robles looks fairly deliberate on his move to first. And Vasquez is really quick. Plus, you got to watch your secondary lead because he loves to go behind the left-hand hitter to first base.
Up and out on the change to Moncada. Yoan 1 for 3. He's got a double. Magic number at 10 for the White Sox would go down to 9 with a win over Boston here this afternoon. Cleveland has fallen on very hard times, accelerating the timeline for the playoff berth as it's 2-0 on Moncada.
Well, the schedule makers got to them these last three because they sent Milwaukee to Cleveland. And Milwaukee right now, you just don't want to face them. Pitching staff has been unhittable, and they can really hit now as a group.
They're up to 89 wins. 2-0. Moncada vaults it to the right-hand side. Hernandez grabs out number 2. The late games are underway. Texas and Oakland scoreless in the bottom of the first. Arizona and Seattle scoreless in the home second. Out in Washington, that's a tie for second place in the AL West right now between the Mariners and the A's. Astros are up 3-1 on the Angels.
He got his pitch. I mean, he got 97 right down the middle, but he fouled it straight back.
Another foul ball straight back. Jose's only hit in this series was a big one. It was the home run on Friday night that pushed the Sox to that opening lead and win against Boston on Friday. Two strikes. Crowd's been into it all weekend long. 35,000 plus every game. 1-2.
This has been number one. A lot of people attending the 3-game series, as you would expect. Number 2, very enthusiastic crowds. I mean, the last couple of ball games for sure, they were just electric. And the games didn't disappoint. They were great games. This one, a different type of game, but equally as good a game.
3 separate types of games in this series, and all entertaining. Check swing. No, wave it off. Chad Fairchild says 2-2.
We'll look at it from the side. I think Chad was right on this call. Just at the last instant, checked it up. Well, you'd like to think that if Robles would make another mistake with a fastball, because he's made a couple in this at bat. If he makes another one, Jose should know the velocity and the movement of that fastball right now.
2-2. Struck him out. Good one to the corner. And the inning's over. Sox have a 1-run lead to protect to the 9th. Jose Ruiz an inning and a third, and he turns it over to
Craig Kimbrel. He's on for the 57th time. He's looking for his 25th save combined between the Sox and the Cubs. The ERA a little over 2. He wants a redeemer for last night's game. 89 strikeouts, just 18 walks. And it's not an easy one with the top of the order due up.
It'll be Hernandez, Schwarber, and Renfroe, and for Kimbrel, of his 372 saves in his major league career, 108 of them, 108, came with the Red Sox. World Series in 2018 with Boston. Kimbrel against Hernandez first.
It's a specially trained fly that's bugging him at this point.
With homing capabilities. First pitch. Ball 1. It was a 1-out double last night from Vasquez that led to the run Kimbrel allowed in the 8th. That ball's tagged to center. Robert on the run. It tails away from him and over his head. Kike Hernandez thought about 3 and he slows into second. So Hernandez with a missile double to center. The first hit since the 6th inning for Boston.
That was a bad play by Luis. He didn't get a great break, and I think he underestimated how hard this ball was hit. We'll watch him. He doesn't go after it like he should. He kind of went after it like he was going to catch it for sure. Then it accelerated over his head. So that's the tying run.
Kyle Schwarber is the hitter.
All Kyle is looking to do here is pull the ball. He wants to hit it to the right side. That's at the very least.
Kimbrel working 3 days in a row. Both bullpens well taxed in this series. Former teammates on the other side of town, Kimbrel and Schwarber.
Plate's getting a little tight late for Roberto Ortiz behind the plate. Tell you what would look particularly good here is a pop-up.
Good curveball, 1-1.
You'd live with a strikeout too.
I was going to say there's one other option there too. Kike Hernandez at second base. Check swing. He went around. Oh, no. Wow. Dan Bellino waved it off. Looked for sure like he went, Steve.
Let's take another look at it.
Oh, you know what?
That one honestly was a little closer than it looked in real time.
Yep.
Could have gone either way, and it went Schwarby's way.
Yeah, it looked much more in real time like he went for sure. And now 2-1 for Kyle Schwarber. Close. Not close enough for Ortiz in the ninth. 3-1. Rocked foul right side. 3-2.
That one was hit awfully hard, but fortunately to the right side of the line.
One nothing White Sox. 3-2. Kimbrel to Schwarber. That time he went. He is out. One gone.
Threw it by him, got the big strikeout in a situation that cried out for contact. Kimbrel, who is a big strikeout pitcher, puts it out of the zone, and Schwarber cannot check his swing. Some high heat.
Twelve strikeouts for Red Sox hitters after 15 last night and 11 in game one.
Completely different at bat now, because instead of having to play the infield in, instead of worrying about just a fly ball tying the game, that strikeout by Schwarber means that Renfroe's got to get a base hit to score him.
Yeah, no productive out available for Renfroe, who swings through a dastardly curveball. One and one. Warm Sunday afternoon. Kimbrel trying to close it out for the Sox in his third straight appearance. A ball and a strike. Three straight breaking balls. 2-1. Sox starters all watching, other than Lance Lynn, who had the ball today with 5 scoreless. Outside, 3-1. All curveballs to Renfroe.
Not a bad game plan, but they've been wide.
Three and one to the Red Sox power hitter. And it's ball 4, a fastball. 2 on, 1 out for Boston. For Rafael Devers, who has been out of sorts in this series. He is 1 for 9 with 6 strikeouts. That doesn't mean he will remain out of sorts, as Ethan Katz is out of the dugout to talk to Kimbrel.
Devers, who helped rework his swing a bit, has not hit a ground ball in the series. What a nice time for his first. He's talking it over with Verdugo.
It's the first time all game the Red Sox, Steve, have had 2 runners on at the same time.
Now sometimes, and Ethan is not this kind of guy, but occasionally Don Cooper would do something like wait on the mound for a bit, wait for the umpire to come out to break it up, and then just say, not a good time to tighten it up. Been a little tighter late than it was early.
That is true.
Roberto Ortiz. Normally Juan Moncada would probably play a little bit more toward shortstop, but in a situation where you can't afford a stolen base, you got to be close enough to third to get there if Kike Hernandez decides to run.
There's the look to second base.
Yeah, but that was the inside move. That's actually turning toward third. That spin move, especially with Kike trying to get a secondary lead before Kimbrel has actually gone into his stretch. That would be a good move to second.
Two and 0. Rafael Devers had a huge home run last weekend at Fenway against the Indians. He's up 2-0 on Kimbrel here in the 9th on this Sunday. Winner gets the series. Toronto's already won. Red Sox trying to come back, and now 3-0 on Devers.
He hasn't been close to Devers. I mean, 3 pitches, not even in the neighborhood.
Third straight day on the mound for Kimbrel. 11 balls, 5 strikes. Bases loaded. This is Kimbrel's ball game.
Nobody up and throwing. It's his till there's a resolution. Now, unlike Devers, Verdugo will hit the ball on the ground.
Bases loaded, 1 out. In the air to left. Jimenez makes the catch. Hernandez tags, and the Red Sox have tied the game late again, this time in the 9th on a sacrifice fly from Alex Verdugo.
First ball fastball, and after a guy has walked 2 guys in a row and not been all that close, Verdugo looking for a fastball down the middle. He got it. And it's a brand new game, tied at 1.
Eloy, Yasmani, and Leury will bat in the Sox 9th. Bobby Dahlbeck is the hitter here. 2 walks in the inning have stung the Sox and Kimbrel. That one slides in. 0-2. Two strikes in the dirt. Sebi, good work to get out there. 1-2.
Did a nice job there. That could turn out to be a big play. Sliding to his right. He's able to get the glove and keep it pretty much centered. Nice effort.
One and two for Dahlbeck. Struck him out. But there will be a bottom of the ninth. Eloy leads it off when we come back tied at 1. Your face on the mound.
Garrett Whitlock on for the 43rd time. ERA is a good one at 181. And we did see him, and he threw the ball very well. So 1 run wins it. Just have to go get it. You don't want to go into the capricious nature of runner at second base to start the extra inning.
Would you call it arbitrary and capricious?
Yes, both.
Wow.
Little happenstance also.
Oh, you hate to see the combo of arbitrary, capricious, and happenstance. Whitlock to Jimenez. Strike 1. Good news for the White Sox is there's an off day tomorrow for bullpen purposes. The Red Sox are getting on the plane and going to Seattle to start a huge series with the Mariners. Oh, 2 on Eloy. Whitlock threw 2 innings yesterday. He gave up a double to Robert and then got Eloy to ground out to third in a quick at bat in the 9th. And there's strike 3 on a sinker.
It's the 3rd strikeout in 4 at bats, and Eloy just does not have a stroke right now. But the man at bat does have a stroke right now.
Two times on base again for Grandal as he takes ball 1. Extra innings last night here at Guaranteed Rate Field. It went 10. Grandal's walked it off before. And he takes a change for a strike. 1-1. Wanted to pounce there. High fastball. 1-2. Got him. Nearly the same pitch. Whitlock's arm is lively.
A couple of high fastballs and down on strikes. That was one of the rare pitches out of the zone that you'll see Osmani swing at. It doesn't happen often.
That might have been him thinking that it was in his hands to try to win the ball game there.
Could very well have been.
Two out for Garcia. Called strike. Well, if there was a 10th, it would be Shaw, Bogarts, and Vasquez for Boston.
And Dahlbeck starts at second base. Mike Wright loosening into pen.
He threw the 10th yesterday. Looks like he would throw the 10th today. Garcia, center field. Verdugo back. Who needs a 10th inning? Sox win 2-1 on 2 strikes.
A little unlikely thunder off the bat of Leury. How about the boys around home plate? That's just a 5th home run of the year. None more dramatic than that one. Unbelievable.
That is the 9th walk-off for the White Sox this year.
Well, the smiling man going to smile through the off day and probably to start the game on Tuesday. That's going to make that flight to Seattle a little bit longer for the Red Sox. The Ford home run replay, and Leury knows he got it. That's his first career walk-off. Now he runs because he hasn't had a walk-off home run. If it hits the top of the wall, he's thinking about it inside the Parker. Doesn't have to worry about that. It is long gone. Yikes.
Whitlock thought he was going to strike out the side. He was 0-2. And then that guy doused him and got doused himself.
Well,
what is with this team? It's a new hero every game.
But I will tell you, this particular game fits so well into this series because this series was 3 tough and tight ball games, all having different characteristics, and each and every one dramatic in their own right. Our Sox take 2 or 3 from their Sox, and the magic number today goes down by 2.
Down to 9.
How about that? Unlikely thunder from Leury Garcia.
Just awesome. What's happened in this ballpark this year reinforces the fact that for years to come, this will be the place to be in the summer in Chicago.
The one thing we promised in spring training, didn't know how it would work out. We did promise you it would be an exciting team. It's been every bit of that and more. Punctuated by 2 of 3 from a very good Red Sox team who really needed this series and didn't get it.
Whoa. That'll make the off day real happy for a lot of people leaving the ballpark right now.
Well, Leury, the longest tenured White Sox player, had never had a walk-off home run until the 0-2 pitch.
He's finishing up some high fives. And then he will join us from downfield level. Leury Garcia is with us. How did that happen, man? Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't know, man. I just try to hit the ball. I know it's a 9th inning, and they threw me the pitch right there.
Did you know you had never had a walk-off home run in the major leagues?
First time ever.
Hey, what were you doing 0-2? Like, what was in your mind? You're down 2 strikes.
Yeah, what my mind was, you know, he got a pretty good fastball. I know he's going to throw a strike. He don't want a walk any guy, so I try to be in my spot and work for my pitch.
Leury, you have been able to keep your rhythm both in the field and at bat, despite playing every day. Now, you're getting a chance with Tim Hurt to play a little bit more, but how do you keep your rhythm both places without being an everyday player?
Like I'm always saying, I think a lot of works. I've been working a lot with infield and outfield hitting, and I've been doing this, for years. So for me, especially right now that I got opportunity to play every day, I try to take advantage.
Lastly, before we let you go, at what age did you start smiling all the time?
I don't know, man. Since I'm bored.
Hey, congratulations. Well done, Leury.
Thank you, guys.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Leury Garcia means the magic number is 9. We're at Mini Minoso. 9 on the magic number. And away we go. Get your rest.
Get your rest. It's a long turnaround.
Enjoy it while you can. This is good stuff from the White Sox today. Garcia walks it off. For our producer, Chris Withers, our director, Dave Turner, our associate producer, Chris Kamka, our entire wonderful crew, our stage manager, Joe Grube. He is Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. How about that, huh?
Dramatic.
Big time. Chuck and Ozzy, Subaru White Sox postgame live is now